Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. And thank you, Kevin Mayu, Diane Boyle, and Julie Harrison for the extraordinary work you have done on behalf of agents, this industry, and the people who rely on our products and services. It's an honor, as always, to speak to NAIFA, representing insurance and financial advisors across the country. I actually can't believe it's a little over a year since we began all this meeting by Zoom. And I know you join me in agreeing that can't wait to be together. But until then, it is great to be with you virtually. I certainly knew from the moment I had my first interaction with NAIFA that I had found the heartbeat of this industry, and every engagement we've had since has reinforced this initial observation. I was honored to be part of your strategic planning process. It was extremely professional and productive, and the outcomes reinforced NAIFA's value proposition and the importance of our work together. So again, thank you for including me, and thank you for the very purposeful way that you're planning the next 5 years. We at ACLI will be privileged and pleased to be part of that in any way that we can. You certainly hold your customers' interests close to mind and heart, and that's especially important now as families look to this industry for certainty. Over the past several years, ACLI has placed great effort in establishing a strong value proposition that demonstrates how life insurance companies provide financial security for all Americans. Part of our mission at ACLI is to make sure policymakers know about the good work that our industry does. Not just our economic footprint or business factors, all of that's important, but the way that we are answering real needs of American families. NAIFA is a big part of that mission. And that's why we appreciate so much our partnership with you. 100% of congressional districts have at least one NAIFA member constituent. That's a powerful statement. NAIFA's field force represents the strength and breadth of the industry. Your voice makes an impact. And you make us all, as you call it, NAIFA proud. Last year, you stepped up in big ways, even in the middle of a pandemic. You hustled to find new ways to serve your customers in a virtual world, donated meals to healthcare workers, made masks, volunteered your services to your communities, and you also lent your voices to advocacy. We won some tough fights because of your help. I'll give you a couple examples. In Colorado, when fast-track legislation would have imposed new taxes on consumers of annuities, NAIFA agents engaged on behalf of this industry. You told the story of how the taxes would impact ranchers, farmers, small business owners, your customers. And guess what? Our amendments were accepted. We won the fight, and it was a difficult one because it was a closed down Capitol and everything had to happen virtually. But we made it happen. You made it happen. It was a victory for consumers and our industry. Here's another example also last year. We pushed for the adoption of changes of some outdated provisions in the US tax code. NAIFA agents joined our powerful industry coalition, and the outcome? One of our tax provisions was included in the COVID response package that passed Congress at the end of the year. Make no mistake, your actions on behalf of this industry make a difference. The partnership between ACLI and NAIFA couldn't be stronger when it comes to both consumer protections and consumer access, as we work together to support the adoption of best interest across the country. With 10 states having approved this standard and many more ready to act, NAIFA leaders have made an important difference for the ability of people to protect their family's financial future. Like I said at the start, you are in touch with the challenges that get talked about at kitchen tables nationwide. You provide information and opportunities for working families and for achieving economic equity for all. You are an essential resource. It is up to all of us to make sure this is understood and that any new federal policy does not unfairly discriminate against the average consumer trying to strengthen their family's own financial security. Let me say that again. We don't need federal policy that discriminates against the average consumer that's trying to help their own family. We need your continued engagement now more than ever. This year, we have some tough challenges ahead and some great opportunities to ensure financial security for all. I'd like to talk briefly about both today. First, let's address the challenges. A big challenge is tax. As you know, President Biden has hit the ground running, quick to address the economy and communities of people hurting from the pandemic. Chief among his ideas is his infrastructure proposal. We know raising the corporate tax rate to 28%, up from 21%, is the linchpin of Biden's proposal to pay for the American Jobs Plan. President Biden has said tax increases are a matter of justice and paying for infrastructure. Now, there's many complexities ahead of us and multiple live balls as negotiations happen in real time in Congress. So this is going to be a fluid process with details being hammered out through the summer. Pelosi and Schumer aren't on the same page yet. And, as we know, Schumer's got about a 0 vote margin in the Senate, and Pelosi only has a handful of votes. So those two have to get an agreement. And then there's a lot of members on both sides of the aisle that have to be brought along to make this package work, which is, of course, our opportunity to be part of the debate and in a constructive way, offering our thoughts. And we need your help to do that. Because here's something that won't change. 90 million Americans from all walks of life count on us to protect their financial and retirement security. And they know they have a plan they can rely on no matter what life brings. Stable, predictable tax policy allows us to make certain that we can deliver for policyholders no matter what. If Congress raises the corporate tax rate, 2 narrowly focused corrections are needed to stabilize the impact on financial protection for these families and sustain the financial safety net that our country relies on. We need your voices to remind Congress that stabilizing a corporate rate increase would keep coverage accessible, keep coverage affordable, and keep the financial safety net intact. With your help, I know we can get it done. Another challenge ahead of us is related to employee classification, the PRO Act, which the House passed earlier this year. As many of you know, the bill would reform labor laws, including a big change for the life insurance industry, essentially limiting the ability for independent broker-dealers and financial advisors to do their jobs by changing their employment status. The bill is now in the Senate. I know the PRO Act will be the topic of conversation for many of you as you meet with your senators. ACLI stands with you as you address senators on this issue. I want to thank Diane Boyle for lending her voice to ACLI's news blog Impact that we delivered directly to Capitol Hill staffers, members of Congress, and people in the administration, the thought leaders, the movers and shakers. Our messages are being received thanks to you and thanks to all of our efforts. As you talk with your senators about the negative implications of the PRO Act, it's critical to remind them of how this proposed classification would affect your day-to-day operations. But it's also important to share how it could impede your role in your communities and your commitment to making sure people have access to products, services, and advice. When we can demonstrate how we help people protect their families' financial futures, we make an impact. And now the opportunity. With your help, we achieved a major victory with the passage of the Secure Act in 2019. Remember the one that took 10 years, 3 times at bat to get it finished, and we did it together. We have an opportunity to do it again with a second act for retirement security, something we've called Secure 2.0. I know you are focused on this legislation during this congressional conference. That's good, it's timely. The legislation includes features like automatic enrollment. It incentivizes small businesses to start a retirement plan in the workplace, as well as provides a retirement savings match in the amount of student loan payments, among other benefits to help close the retirement savings gap in this country. Improving retirement security for all Americans is a bipartisan issue because it's just common sense. We need your voice to keep this front of mind for policymakers. This legislation is a good shot of enactment this time around. Unbelievably, in all this complicated environment, we need to get it done. So when you meet with your legislators, remind them that we are experiencing the greatest retirement surge in our history, and you are committed to setting up a new generation of retirement savers. So let me close by saying this. The months and years ahead will hold tough fights and great opportunity. Moving forward, goodwill and grassroots will be the key to advocacy, but you already know that. It will take all of us working together to provide financial security for all. We need the help of every one of you. Our industry is equipped to do that. We help people protect their family's financial future. You're the perfect spokespeople to tell that story. Together, we can take on anything. Thank you for all you do. And thank you for having me join you today. Let's go get them.